Hello, hello. We're live. It's changed a little bit here in the back end since I've done this last, so we're just gonna see how I do with it. If you guys can hear me, please let me know in the comments. I think I can see the chat going on. I'm using a microphone, so please let me know if you can hear. Can you guys hear me? Don't be afraid to chat. Okay, I'm just gonna keep talking. Well, welcome. Okay, you can hear me. That's good. Thank you. Okay, well, welcome. I'm Patty. I go by Pattymac Makes everywhere online, and I wanted to do this video today just to kind of check in with you guys on doing this Power of Three Quilt Along that I mentioned to you about a week ago. Oh, I see some people are here. Okay, Mary. Thank you, Mary. Hi, Luann. Oh, Penny, thank you. Hi, Susan. Thank you. Oh, all the way from the UK. Wow, thank you. You're up kind of late. Thank you for being here. Anyway, so this video is just kind of to touch base with you all, see if you have any specific questions that you would like to ask, just to make sure that you know where to find the information and materials that you'll need to make the quilt and all that kind of stuff. So anybody have any specific questions? Otherwise I'll just ramble. Oh, okay, no questions. Okay, you guys. Anyway, thank you for being here. I have not done a live stream in like almost 2 years, like a while. And honestly, the biggest holdup was because the picture quality that I had was so poor. So in the fall, I was able to get this new computer, and I'm actually talking to you from the webcam. So I hope that the picture is as clear for you as what I'm seeing on screen. Oh, who else is here? Connie, hello from Texas. Hi, Linda. Hi, Connie. Oh, Shirley, Alberta, Canada. Wow, way up north. Oh, are you guys thawing out yet up there? I know it's been pretty cold. Oh, Megan. Oh, tell Miles I said hi. Hi, Miles. Hi. For those of you that don't know, which is probably everybody except Megan, Megan is one of my really good friends in real life, and Miles is her little boy. Oh, hi, Jill. Oh, Miles, are you being a good boy and helping your mommy around the house? I hope that you are, because mommy needs a little help. Oh, North Carolina. Ooh, Southern Indiana. Hello. Hello. Oh, Connie says, I wish we had the weather to thaw out instead of nearly 100 degrees. Oh, Connie, you must be down in Texas. So you're from yes. Well, let me tell you, the weather here, it's kind of crazy. It's like 55, cloudy, windy. It's actually a nor'easter, which is kind of weird. Normally we don't get a nor'easter until fall, but surprise, surprise, it's 2022. We're having a nor'easter in May. So anyway, one more day of clouds and rain, and it's not really raining. It's just overcast. So one more day of cold, and then it's supposed to rain for a couple of days, and then it's supposed to clear out. And I'm just praying that my garden plants are going to make it, because this is not exactly ideal conditions for a garden, but we're just going to, put it out there to the powers that be that we need those plants to make it. Oh, okay. Oh, Luann. Oh, can you see that? You can't see the chat? Ooh, Michigan in the house. Gosh, a lot of people from up north. Oh, Jill is watching from Texas, North Carolina. Oh, Yvonne is in New York on a dinner break. Hi, Yvonne. Thanks for spending your time with us. Oh, let's see. Penny. Oh, southern New Mexico. Yeah, it is hot out there, isn't it? Humid, sticky with a side of hot. I can always tell my girls from the South. Yeah, we get a lot of that here, but typically not until July and August. So I don't know what this summer is going to be like, but once the rain clears out, it's supposed to be like 70s, like mid 70s for the week following. So I hope that remains the case because that would be great. Yvonne, oh, where am I? I am in Virginia Beach, Virginia. So I'm like down in the most farthest southeastern corner of the state of Virginia. And if you're not in the States, that's on the East Coast. So I'm right off the Atlantic Ocean. Oh, Utah. Hello, Utah. Oh, Bex. Hey, girl. You had wildfires for days and then a tornado. Oh my gosh. We had a tornado here last week. I mean, it was just like this incredible electric storm. I think that was Friday night. Just nutty, insane electric storm. I don't even know what in the world happened, but it was crazy. And then from then on, it's just been this hovering nor'easter that we're sitting in. And he says, rain, is that when water falls out of the sky? Oh my gosh, you must be out west. Ah, the West. Yeah, massive, massive drought. I don't even know what to say about that. Gosh. Well, let's talk about the quilt. I want to check in with you guys on the quilt. And oh, in Texas, we cherish our bipolar weather. Yeah. I can relate to that comment actually here in Virginia because it's like, what is the saying? If you don't like the weather, just wait a couple of hours and it'll change. Although the pattern we're in now has been stuck here for days. So anyway, I'm ready for some spring. Yeah, Bex, I know the drought. Oh, Lynn, you had an earthquake? Oh my gosh. Holy cow. Wow. All kinds of weather going on. Bay Area, California, threatening to rain. Oh, crazy windy. Oh, Luann, you're still getting the wind? Whoa. Well, what a great time to be indoors and working on a new quilt project. And I just want to say thank you to all of you for being so enthusiastic about this. So this is my first quilt pattern that I've designed myself and that I'm kind of putting out into the world. So that feels a little, what's the word? I feel just a little uneasy about it because it is a new thing and I was really concerned about putting it out there. But everybody, you guys have been so amazingly supportive, which I really, really appreciate. So I really liked making my quilt top, and I sincerely hope that you will enjoy this as much as I have. So I'm going to show you where I am in the process, and that will give you an idea of what the project looks like in real life because it does look different from the illustration. So I'll show you how that is looking. And I'm super excited about it. So I kind of stopped working on it. Now I'm at the point where I just put the border on and I can quilt it and just, get the quilting. We always say, oh, I can just quilt it. Like that's the easiest thing in the world. But of course, that goes on forever. And I'll tell you, when I first put this pattern design together, I had a whole different block for the bottom row. And I still like that block. And I made all 4 of them. And when I laid the pieces out, I thought, how am I going to quilt this? And what I realized was I needed to change the bottom block because everything is sort of based off of a 16 patch, but that lowest block was based off of a 9 patch. And I thought that's going to look really awkward if I straight line quilt when I get to the 9 patch because none of the stitch lines will line up. So I made a last minute decision to change the bottom block. And I'm glad I did. It was kind of fun to put together. That it's almost like a patchwork 16 patch on the bottom. It looks really complicated. I'll tell you, the only thing complicated about the lowest block is that make sure you put it in right. Because when I did it, I got turned around. It's like I always say, you know, take a picture before you commit. And I didn't do it because I was rushing. And the block is in backwards, and I'm not changing it. I'm not ripping all that work out. Just I'm not going to do it. So it is what it is, and we're moving forward. So anyway, let me show you what it looks like so you get an idea of how that's going to look. And I'll tell you, I didn't press it. I didn't have time to press it out. So just, you know, please have some grace with my mess. Of course, you can see the mess behind me. There's the sewing area. So you can kind of see the whole room where I film everything. And yeah, it's not it's not great. It's kind of a mess. So, all right, let me show you the quilt. And you can tell me which is your favorite block. That I would like to know. What is your favorite block? Let's see. I folded this up, I don't know, like 3 weeks ago, and I haven't had it back out. Here it is. And there's the sawtooth star that we just had on the channel. And there it is with the 4. I love how this came out. I think it's really pretty. And then the next one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up the block tutorials with all of the cutting instructions and the stuff that you'll need. I'll put that up for the weekend. So the heart will be next. And to be honest with you, that's the same basic heart that I did at Valentine's Day. I added a little half square triangle in that corner, which I thought looked really cool. And then the third block, I thought that was the hardest, which is this one. It doesn't look like it's anything. You think, oh, it's just half square triangles. You know, how hard can that be? And honest to goodness, I had to make a couple of them to figure it out. You can see that one's off a little. So that's the most perfect one. I'll tell you, even though it's hard and it's a little bit of a stretch, if you haven't been making a few of the blocks, if you're not like super confident or had a lot of practice, it's hard. But I'm going to encourage you to do it anyway because you're going to learn a lot. And it just looks so good when it's done. And then I thought after that, we all need a break, right? something easier. So I put the pinwheel in. And the pinwheel goes together, lickety split. I mean, it just is nothing to put that together. But you know what? It's still so pretty and it's so nautical looking. And then here's the last one. That one, so say it's a 16 patch. And what I did here is I did a strip set of the blue and white. So I just did the strip set and then cut them and put them together as the 4 patches. So that went together really super easy. And then of course I did the cornerstones. And I'll tell you, you can omit doing those cornerstones because, you know, they're tricky. But again, I would encourage you, if you've made a few things, like maybe if you've done some table runners, if you feel ready to take that next step, jump in and try it. And I'll tell you this. So what you can do is you could try try one, okay? And if it feels like it's too much and you're just pulling your hair out over it, then no problem. Just do it as a solid strip of sash. And because it's not worth it to be that aggravated over a project. It's like, for me, I like a little bit of a challenge because I do like that sense of accomplishment. But if it's just going to stress me out and I'm going to be completely aggravated, it's not worth it. I want to enjoy what I'm doing. And that's why I think even something simple like a pinwheel, it's really fun. I mean, that would make the cutest quilt. Just do the entire quilt and the pinwheels. I think it's adorable. And so all of the squares, all of the blocks are 12-inch quilt blocks. So I thought it was a good size. It's not so small that it's so just insanely fiddly that you can't hardly stand to deal with it. It's enough that you can get your hands around it without it just being insane. Because, I have done projects with 1.5-inch blocks, and, it's kind of a lot. They look really good. You feel accomplished when you're done, but you also say, I'm so glad that's over with when you're done. This was kind of cool. So I planned it to where it had a little churn dash that turned up in the middle. And really, it should have that like at every junction, but it's all right. So that's all of the blocks that are coming. And so I don't know. I really like it. I'm super excited to get it done. For my border, I'll tell you, it's a wide border. And I went with a wide border because I do want to use it on my bed. And I needed it a little bit wider. And I'm just going to do the blue, because I have a lot of the blue. And I had to make some other decisions on this thing. There was supposed to be another outer border, and I was going to do some other stuff with the red. Well, when I made the executive decision to change the block, that I already made them all, I didn't have any more red. And when I went back to Joann, they didn't have any more of that fabric. So that was a little bit of a shock. And I'm kind of wondering what the store looks like, because I haven't been in there since I went back to look for the red. That's the last it was in there. So I don't know what the store looks like now. Let me show you what I'm going to do for backing. And this I'm kind of embarrassed to show you because it's just a crumpled up mess. I washed this and put it into the dryer, and then it's been sitting over in this spare chair, and it's a rumpled up mess. I might have to run it through the dryer again before pressing it, but it's just a navy solid, like a broadcloth. And I found in Joann, you have to look around for it because it's in a different spot in every store. They do have some wide back fabric, and they have a couple. So they have, with the cottons, they have a 90-inch by 90, I think it's 90 inches, which is what this is. And they have the 108. And they also have in the flannels. And, I love the nursery fabrics. In the nursery fabrics, they have a 108 wide back, which if you can get that with a coupon, that is a really good deal, as is this one. I don't remember now what I paid for it. I have to look back at the receipt. But I will tell you, the quilt I have on my bed right now, I haven't really done a video about that. I need to do a video about it. And I'm using it because I just like it so much. And I used the nursery flannel for my backing. And I like how it came out. And I know that's really not a traditional thing, but I really like it. And it's cozy and it's been warm. And I'll tell you something, when I bought the flannel, I thought I was getting the 108. It wasn't the 108. It was a regular. So I got to where I was ready to do the quilt sandwich, and I got the fabric out, and I was like, this isn't, or maybe I went to launder it. I think I was going to launder it because the flannel shrinks so much. I mean, you really have to wash that before you use it. But I unrolled it or unfolded it to wash, and I was like, this is a regular flannel. This is not the right thing. So I wound up going to my stash, and I dug out some stuff that was older that had been in there for a long time. And I just I washed everything, put it through the dryer, and pressed it out. And then I just sewed like a really big patchwork back using the really old flannel with the new flannel. And I like it. I'm really happy with it. So I'll show that to you, but not today. So the backing, if you want to use the less expensive stuff, and I'll tell you everything I got for this quilt, the deal that I made with myself was, I'm going to go to the store, I'm going to go to the Joann, and I'm only going to buy the quilting cotton off the back wall, the least expensive stuff in the store. Yeah, least expensive, the cheapest. And I think it used to be $3.99. Now it's $4.99. But that was all I got to use on the front. And then I wound up finding this broadcloth. I want to say it was kind of over by the upholstery fabric, sort of. And I think it's different in every store. But anyway, I got it like at 40% off. So that was a good deal. So if you're looking for backing for your quilts, check out the flannels, the 108 flannels. I think I want to say they're 16 a yard. I want to say 16. And, generally you're going to use about 2.5 yards. So if you can get that at 40% off, you can do your backing for like a little bit over $20. That is a good deal. So that's my suggestion to you. So anyway, I'm keeping it very simple. And I'm going to use that same navy blue that I used on the front. And I'm going to make my binding from that. So it's almost going to be like a tone on tone binding. And that's also like really handy because the navy thread that I got, it'll just blend right in. So if anything is not completely perfect, it's not going to matter. You're not going to see it. And that was my plan, just to keep it easy. So that's what I got. This and the quilt top that you saw. So I want to hear from some of you guys. All right, I'm going to scroll back through some of the comments. Size of the completed quilt top. You know what? Let me check. Let me just check the actual blog post and I'll tell you. I'm not that good with math and numbers. Let me just be really honest with you about it. So I have to refer back. Let's see. Have it in here. If you haven't been over to the blog post, please go over and check that out because that will give you a lot of information. And it's not just the information in terms of yardage and all of that stuff. It's also, I gave you some information on color and using your color wheel. Okay, so the finished measurements on this quilt is 71 by 85. All of your quilt blocks are 12-inch blocks, which means they're 12 and a half before you sew them into the sash. So the finished block is 12 inches. And the sash, I cut all of that at 2.5-inch strips. So they're all 2-inch sash. And, I do that because I think it's easier. I invested in a 2.5 by 24.5 inch quilt ruler. That thing is amazing. And like I was saying, like I have a little bit of trouble with the math and the numbers. And I can have a little bit of difficulty when I'm looking at that ruler with all of those numbers and all of those tick marks. And you're on the mat and there's all these numbers and all these it's just like it gets to be a little much. So to keep myself from making mistakes, I like to use a ruler in the size that I need the fabric to be in. And it means that I have a lot of quilt rulers, but it helps me to make sure that I don't make a lot of mistakes because I've made some mistakes. Let's see. I'm going to scroll back and see. Gosh, you guys, thank you for all the comments. This is amazing. Beck says you had hail twice last week. Oh my gosh. Chinchula, Alabama. Hey, girl. Hello, Darlene. Penny says, what rain? Oh, the drought. It's crazy. Luann says, oh, your house power is out? What? Oh my gosh, Luann, you're having a time out there. Oh, Bex says, biblical proportions of weather, disease, and pestilence. Funny, but not funny. Yes, that truer words were never spoken. You know what, guys? I'm going to change my glasses. Hold on. I have to put on my other glasses. I don't wear these on camera because they have glare, but I need them to read. Luann, you're so sweet. Megan, she is dedicated. I'm telling you. Wendy, oh, your favorite star is Sawtooth Star. I know. I love that block. Lynn says, if you think that's a mess, come see me. Creative clutter. Oh, it's a bunch of clutter. I'm not even show you the kitchen. I started canning. Another hobby that takes a whole bunch of stuff. It's like all of these hobbies that I get into. It just but at least that hobby will keep me alive. I figure the canning, well, the quilting too, right? The quilting will keep us alive because we can stay warm. And if it really gets bad, we can make quilts for people who didn't plan ahead and get their blankets. Oh, Luann says hard to choose a favorite block. Yeah, the Sawtooth Star. I like all of them, but I have to say that heart, I really liked how that came out as well. And that one, that was a lot of cutting. That was a lot of cutting, but it looks so good. Oh, thanks, Bex. Yeah, it's you can do so much with that half square triangle. And I'm kind of all about the HST because I just think you can do so much with it. And you can just take a couple of fabrics and some of those and just turn them all different ways and get all kinds of really cool designs. Let's see. Vaughn says 3 and 4 and 5 scares the thread out of me. Don't be scared. The diamond one, that is the hard one. The last one is not that hard, honestly. Yeah, Sawtooth Star is such a good block. Oh wait. Okay, guys. I'm trying to read the comments. I'm so sorry. Let's see. Okay, completed size. Yeah, Bex, your husband, I hope he's doing all right. That is a huge surgery. It's like I'll see people talking about, they're going to have a knee replacement, like they're going to get their nails done, and it's a big surgery. People are not well, I don't think people are adequately prepared by the medical staff of what to expect. Maybe they see it every day, so to them it's not a big deal, but it's a long recovery. Oh, Sue says she just started cutting out Sawtooth Star pieces. Oh, using batiks. Oh, you went with the green, purple, and orange. Oh, yes. Isn't that crazy? I'm so surprised how that works. I actually pulled some fabric to kind of show also. List of fabric. Yeah, Penny on the website, which it should be linked in the description down below. And that will give you all of your yardage. And then each week, I'll give you like the cutting instructions and like a nice little diagram to help you with putting your blocks together. Money, so crafty marigold. Money's tight, so I'm thinking of using an old but good condition flat sheet. Let me tell you, so crafty marigold. I use sheets all the time, all the time. They work really well, and I have seen other people like sort of uh, recommend about not doing that, and I'm here to tell you, I think it's fine. I'm not making stuff. This is me personally. I'm not making stuff for competition. Okay. I'm not entering the state fair. I'm not entering a quilting competition. When I make stuff, I make it to use. And all of the projects and patterns that I do for you guys, it's all my mindset is make it practical so that it's one affordable, because this does get very expensive, and also that it's fun and usable, because I don't know, maybe it's just the way I was brought up. Having the hobbies are great, but you got to be able to use the stuff. That's my approach. It needs to be stuff that we can use also, not just, making it for the heck of making it, which that is fun, but I'm just too practical. I got to be able to use that stuff. So yeah, sheets. I use them all the time. I can't really see it from here, but I have a whole stack of sheets that I use. And I'll tell you what else you can do. Um, the muslins in Joann, when you can get those on sale, they're less expensive. Like some of those I think are $3 a yard. I have a whole bunch of muslin and I will use those. And if it's the really cheapo, I'll double them up. And like for table runners, that type of stuff, it's great. Because with a table runner, you're not going to see the back. Why does it matter? It doesn't matter. Why does it matter? It doesn't matter. Now for the quilt that I put on my bed, I'm using it, and I wanted that snuggle factor. And I'm telling you, the nursery flannel is just bomb diggity for that. I love it. And it's heavy. And I like a heavy covering, it just feels comforting. Beck says that's pretty big. I know. They 71 by 85, they regard that as being a twin sized. That seems big to me, but Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Beck says I am not a math girl. Yeah, right. Quilt math is hard. It's like everything I do it on a whole number or a half, because all these fractions, I can't handle the fractions. No. So everything is done to make it as easy as possible. That's just how I do it. Making sure I'm caught up with everybody's comments here. Oh, Luann, you did such a good job on your table runner. It's not the easiest thing. The heart is a little bit of a challenge. And in this particular quilt, I added an additional challenge with the little half square triangle in the corner, but which you can omit if you want to, but I would suggest doing it because it adds. It looks really good. Yeah, flannel sheets. Oh, that's a good tip. Beck says flannel sheets on spring sales. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. All right. Let me see what else I could show you guys. I'm going to show you this color wheel just for a few minutes because I love this thing and it has so much great information. The first one that I shared with you guys was in the back of that or inside of that planner. And I mean, it was good, but I wanted something with a little more detail. And this one. And I like how you can see how you can turn it. And it gives you all of this different information. And so, like a lot of times on the color wheels, they just only show you like the most saturated version of that color. And, you know, you can be in the color without it being the like completely saturated hue. So, what do I mean by that? Let me just find one in here for you. This is amazing. I love this thing. Let's just look at yellow, because I think yellow is a really good example. So here's your like most like fully saturated version. And I mean, that is not my favorite color. I love yellow, but that is not it. But if you add a little bit of white to it, that's how you get the toned down version. And I think that is a pretty color. And then you can do this. And that's what happens if you add black. Now, this is actually designed for people who are mixing paint, but you know, we can use it anyway. Look at this. If you add blue to the yellow, you get that green. And then if you add yellow, just get yellow. If you add red, you get orange. Isn't that wild? So you can just kind of have a big time with that. But that's mostly for people who are mixing paints. But it gives you like all of the definitions on the front, like the primaries and the secondaries and the tertiaries and warm and cool and blah, blah, blah. All of it's on there. On the back, this is what I alluded to in the video. I'll just set this up. So this back side will give you illustration of color relationships. And I think this is the most helpful when you start a new project to figure out, you know, what are you going to put into this quilt. And the triadic, which is just picking 3 colors, that's the easiest because it's just 3. So see how it does. So here's the red, and see how that points, and it comes out in the triangle. So it's the red, the blue, and the yellow. And I want you to see, like, there are, you know, variations in each. So any of the colors in there. So you wouldn't have to just go with the pure hue. You could go down here to the pink and you could do this dark blue. And then you could pick even that green. I don't know why you would pick that green, but you could. And that still gives you triadic. It's fascinating to me. And then, so we'll skip over here. And there's your orange, violet, and green, which is just really crazy to me. Now, those are like your pure colors. You also have like your mixture of colors, which is like yellow orange. Okay, that's one. So you could also go with yellow orange. What's that one? Red violet and blue green. But that just gets a little bit confusing when you're trying to explain it in a video. So here's what I would do. I would, and I do this actually. So when I'm going to make something new, if I'm not sure what I'm using, I'll take this. And what I'll do is I'll pick like what I call my spotlight fabric. So the one that is like the one that I just fall in love with, that just has to be the one. And I'll place it on the wheel. And I'll see where it sits, right? Because it can be any one of these, and I'll find it. And then however many colors are involved in the pattern, then I will go using, you know, these different tools to figure out what really works the best. And that's how I do it. And I'll tell you, the split complementary is also a really nice way to go. And so if you did a split complementary off of green, then you're going to be using this red orange and the, what is that? Red violet. But that's getting a little bit much. We're not going to get into that. That's why I said just go with a red, yellow, or blue, or an orange, violet, and green. And I'll show you some things I pulled just to kind of take a look. So this is kind of off of the idea of the red, yellow, and blue, even though it's really like cyan, yellow, and magenta, but that's okay. We'll go with red, yellow, and blue. But I think they work. And another thing to really pay attention to is the scale. So like I thought these worked well because the size of the star is pretty close to the size of the polka dot. And so that's going to work well in a print. And then the blue is just kind of a plain, so it's not going to be, you know, like pulling too much attention or competing with the other ones. It's hard to do, you guys, because you've got your block design and you've got your colors to look at, and then you've got your prints to look at, and you're trying to, I mean, certainly you're going to get all this trouble of cutting and sewing. You want the block design to show up. So if you get too busy in your fabric selection, if your print is too crazy, then it just gets to be, it gets to be hard to find the actual block pattern. And, you know, we don't want that. We don't want to get all this trouble to make these things. And then, you know, that the star, the sawtooth star, or the heart, or whatever it is we're making, it gets lost because of the busyness, which is where the low volume really is important. So that would be these, your background fabric. And, you know, it took me a while. Let me get a drink of water. It took me a while to, because I love color. And it took me a while to get to where I could put in the neutrals and really enjoy selecting the neutrals. And now I love them. And so, you know, they got a little bit of a print on them, but they're not crazy. So this one's stars, and that's like little pluses. And you just find the right neutral for the project. So I thought that really, the white with those is an option. And then here's the other that I pulled. And this was just in my stash. So I just took what was right in my stash. And I'm surprised at how good this looks. It's crazy. I think it looks really good. I would never in my wildest dreams have thought to put that together. But it works. And then for that one, I didn't really like the bright white. I thought the cream. And I'll tell you guys, this is, you know, this is a lot of, it's personal taste. It's what you like. For me, I liked the cream. And maybe it's because of that really warm golden tone. I just felt like that was better. I actually love this, which really surprises me. Okay, so I also pulled, I had this lime green, and then I pulled this green also, and I wanted you to see that. So that's another option. But I felt like having the 3 prints, I just thought it was a little bit much. And it might be, you know, the block might get lost. Even though I like it, I think it works. Just, it depends on what you make, honestly. It's all about what you do. So there's honestly no right or wrong to your selection process. It's what you like, and it's what you have a budget for. That is also a big consideration. And it's about having some fun in the selection. So anyway, let me just show you this. These are Joanne prints, and I really like these. And see how they're like little crosses, little X's. So that's the cream. It looks white on camera, but it's cream. I love this. I mean, I could do this in every color. So I should check the website and see what they have left in that particular print, because that was a nice print. So I hope that was helpful. All right, I'm going to scroll back through comments and see if I can answer some questions here. Oh, okay. Boondock Crafter says, I ordered the fabric and it's called Fresh as a Daisy. Ooh, I like that. So is that like a collection? Where did you get that? Because I'm not familiar with that one, but I love the name. Let's see. Ooh, Fern Park. Hi, Fern Park, Florida. Oh, hi from Fern Park, Florida. Hello. Oh, Beck says, I use color wheel as a hair colorist all the time. Yeah, right? It's amazing. People use them for cake decorating also. Let's see. Okay, so you don't have to stay in the same level to match colors. No. No, you don't. Any of them. I mean, you can do whatever you like. But I mean, you can do whatever you like anyway. But if you decide on your triadic scheme, which is why I called it Power of Three, I just thought it could really help you, because it helped me. And I feel like if it helps me, it's going to help somebody else, which is why I do this anyway, is because I figure something out, it helps me, and then I feel like, well, I'm going to share it with other people. It will probably help them too. Yeah, so you decide on what you want to use as your three colors. And yeah, anything in here works. And in fact, if you play with the light and dark, the hue of your colors, you'll get even more contrast. So there's a lot you can do, even though it feels limiting when you say, oh, I can only do these three. It actually gives you a lot of creative freedom when you constrain slightly. I know that sounds funny, but when you constrain it down a little bit, because you're not really limiting, because you have all of the colors. What you want to do when you go to the store is you take this, because it's real easy to think you got blue, but what you really have is blue-green. Excuse me. And you want to stay over here. And also, this is a really good way for you to kind of train your eye for color when you go to the store and look at stuff. You will much more easily be able to see a blue-green and a blue-violet once you've done some work with your color wheel. I hope that answers your question. Megan says, color theory needs its own video. The color theory is like a whole series. When I took some art classes when I went to college, and we had like a whole year of color theory. I mean, it was a lot. It is so much. And of course, in those days, we mixed the paint and painted. Like we had some kind of white cardstock that we painted, and we had to mix the color to match. And we had to do like the whole 10 steps of whatever the color was. And it was really something. And then we did stuff with foam core blocks where we made geometric designs, which is why I think I like quilting so much, because I loved my design classes. And this is a lot of what we did in design, because you're rotating on an axis when you build a quilt block. And I will show you that in in a different video. But it's very interesting the way the blocks go together and the way that you can look at the construction of the blocks. And I'll share that, guys. I'll share that with you guys later. Back says, love complimentary. I know, right? Pink and green, girl. Pink and mint green. I love that. Sue says, I have a color wheel and I need to use it more frequently. Yeah, it's like we just don't think about it. But really, and listen, it didn't cost you anything to go to Joann's and walk around. Okay, you don't have to buy anything, because I know some people don't like to shop in Joann, and I understand that. You don't have to, but you can go in. Doesn't cost you anything. Take your color wheel and just walk around and check out fabrics. I mean, it's just kind of a fun thing to do. And I'll tell you something else. I don't know if it's in all of the stores. It's in my store, so I would assume everybody's got this. But if you look, you may not have noticed it. There are what they call them end caps. You know, where it's like the end of a row. And there are different setups in the store where it's a table. And those tables are for customers to lay out the work and figure out what they want to do. And what I do when I'm going in to pick out, fabric for whatever, I just pull a whole bunch of bolts that I think are in where I want to be. And I throw them in the cart and I go over to one of those tables and I lay everything out and I really look at it. And that is a huge help. And, you can go in there and use your little color wheels and just play around with it. And it's very, very, very interesting to lay out the real life examples. It's one thing to look at this. It's another thing to look at this. So let's see, where's our yellow? So see how the yellow falls right about here? And let's find the blue. I'm going to say that's more of a blue-green. Oops, sorry about that. Yeah, it's closer to somewhere between these two, I would say. And when you look at it, you wouldn't think there's green in there, but when you put it up here, there's a little bit of green. Because if you just go to the blue, this all looks backwards to me because I'm looking in the video. See, it's not quite there, is it? Maybe. So you're getting a real live video right now. I think it's got a little green in it. It helps if you blur out your eyes. You're getting the real live show now, guys. Anyway, I would say there's a little bit of green in there. So, okay. That's what I think. That's what it looks like to me anyway. But I would never think that just looking at it, So just play. Oh, hi, Lynn. Nice to see you. Beck says, I like to fussy cut a center design of a star sometimes. Yes, yes. And so there's so many ways to make the sawtooth star. And because that has it's just a big block in the middle. It's a 6.5-inch square. That's a lot of real estate. And if you've got some really cool fabric, yes, you could fussy cut something super cool to go there. I just, for the purposes of this, as a learning tool with color, I just kept it a solid piece. But I love the idea of the big fussy cut. I think that's a great idea. Let's see. Quilting Pieces says, I want to join in on the quilt along. I've not really quilted since 2013 when I retired to take care of my mom, and I miss quilting so much. It was a stress released in the past. Oh, Quilting Pieces, I can totally relate. So jump in. I think I put the link in the bottom in the description. If it's not in this video description, the link over to the blog post with all of the yardage and all of that, that will be in the last video. Let's see. So yeah, please jump in. And this is like, it's not super duper challenging. So it's like a really good quilt to kind of get back into the pool again. And you're not jumping into the deep end, which is always nice. Oh, New Mexico. Hello to New Mexico. Let's see. Fresh as a Daisy by Moda. Okay, I'll have to look at that one. I love Moda. Their stuff is so good. Quilting Pieces. Can I use a layer cake for this? You know what you could do? I wasn't going to say this until later, but I'll just say it now. Because I'm thinking what I want to do with you guys is I want to do like part of this where I come on and I'll just like sew live with you. But I don't want to make a whole other quilt because that's just getting to be, that's a little crazy. Okay. Even for me, that's a little crazy. Okay. I'm not going to make two of the same, but I thought, what if I did a table runner? And then I'm just making one block of each. And that is an option for you. So if the quilt feels like, oh my Lord, that is too much. And, let's be real. It's not cheap. It's a lot of darn fabric. And I'm always like, it takes my breath away when I go into one of these big projects and see like how much you got to buy. Just the backing. Oh my Lord. It's like if you have to piece your backing, it's 5 yards of fabric. It's crazy. And, if you're buying the good stuff, it's a lot of money. So table runners are your friend. And then you get to make each of the blocks and enjoy yourself. So I would say, yes, you can do whatever it is you want to do. Pick out something as a background fabric because you'll want the background. So like a white or a cream, and then absolutely enjoy yourself. And especially if you haven't done this in a long time, don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. Just enjoy it. And you should be able to, because what you'll want to do is you'll want to pick 3 colors for each block or 3 prints within your layer cake for each block. Let's see. I hope that answers the question. Let's see. Fresh as a Daisy, layer cake. Yeah, so just make it as a table runner. LA. I don't know how to say your last name. Regimbo? I'm not good with colors. It's hard. Okay. Don't let anybody tell you it's not. It's hard. Which again is why I said red, yellow, and blue. And you could just pick pink, baby blue, and a light yellow. So it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be crazy colors. Okay. It can be muted tones. So yeah, it's a real skill. It's like some of the fabric designers that I really like, their use of color is so good. Like I'll tell you who I really like is Sherry on A Quilting Life. Her color work is beautiful because she designs all of her fabrics. So she does her fabrics as well as her quilt patterns, and I love her work. I have a like a I don't know what you call it, like a mix the Fat Quarter Shop did, where like Fat Quarter Shop, she does what she calls a mix where they like pair fabrics for you. So it may or may not all be in the same collection. But anyway, I have something from Sherry and it's beautiful. So if you really want to see a good use of color, a quilting life, her work is beautiful. And of course, Lori Holt. I mean, Lori Holt is like, she's she's like the queen, I would say. She's so good. She makes it look so easy, and that's just because she's so experienced. But yeah, she's amazing. So, take some time to look at how some of these um, big designers, not only how they put their blocks together, but look at how they're placing their colors and have your color wheel in front of you and just look and see what they're putting where. And I think you'll find that to be very interesting. But it is a learned skill, and some people are just born with that artistic ability where they just can do it without even trying. And I would say the woman who did that book that I shared with you guys, the Australian quilting designer, her use of color is amazing. So I can't think of the name of the book off the top of my head, but it's in my Amazon video. If you go back and look at the Amazon video and I show that book in that video, really interesting the way she pairs. And for her, it's also the way she pairs print with the color. Really, really good. Yeah, LA, just get the color wheel. It's not that expensive. It's under $10. So it's not a huge investment. I do have it linked. So it's well worth it. Let's see. Beck says, I bought quilting fabric to make simple curtains for the master bedroom using scraps for a duvet or coverlet. Yes, I love that. So another channel I really like, of course, is Missouri Star. And I absolutely love Misty. Okay, Misty is like my new favorite. And her projects are so good. And she did one, it's been a couple of months now, where she did the kaleidoscope. I think it was called the kaleidoscope. Anyway, she did that all with layer cakes. And then she had leftovers and she made curtains. I want to make those curtains. So when I get through with this project, I think I'm going to allow myself the treat of making those curtains. And I want to put them in here. See, I made those. That's just a simple valance. But let me tell you. So I made them here. And they're double-sided. So they're not really lined, but they're double-sided. So just the two windows, 5 yards of fabric. 5 yards. Let's see. Lynn says, Karen Brown of Just Get It Done Quilts has a whole series of videos on color theory. Yes, they are amazing. Karen, I wish I knew more about Karen's background because she's not only fantastic on camera, she's so smart about what she shares. Oh, Laura likes the purple, yellow, and orange. Isn't that amazing how that looks? I still can't believe how much I like it. That's crazy. If I had enough of the purple, I would do that as my table runner. I'll have to go to Joann and see if they have any more of that because this is a Joann. All of that's Joann, as a matter of fact. Okay, Lynn says, do you have a paper PDF? Okay, so what I have, Lynn, is on the website, and it's linked each week when I put the block, it will have the cutting instructions, and I'll have a good clear image of the block design that you can look at. And what I want to do is when the series is complete, I'm going to compile all of that into a PDF and then put that into my Etsy shop. So If you want everything in one place, then that would come as a premium type of thing. But it's not going to be terrible expensive. But it will have all the instructions and everything in one place. And then I also think what I'm going to do is take each block design, and then I'm going to give cutting instructions for like 3 or 4 sizes and put all of that into one PDF, and also put that in my Etsy shop. Because maybe you just want to make a project that's all sawtooth stars, why not? And you want to make them in a 16-inch size. Well, then you could go to my pattern download and it would tell you exactly how to do that. So that's my thought process. But right now, the basic information is on the website, and take a look at that. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to email about them or ask online, whichever you feel most comfortable with. And because maybe I'm not as clear in something as I should have been. It is challenging to write the technical instructions. I want to make sure that it's clear for you all to understand. So don't hesitate to ask questions. Quilting Pieces says, I'm thinking of using One Fine Day by Bonnie and Camille from Moda. Oh yeah, that stuff is beautiful. Oh, Beck says you could hand embroider the Star Center. Yes. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Yeah, Sherry and Chelsea, they're so good. Oh, this is nice that you guys all know each other. That's pretty cool. Barb also likes Misty. I know. I really like what she does. Lynn says, I have limited space to quilt, so 12 by 12 squares are too large. I'd be interested in 6 by 6 or 4 by 4. I would pull my hair out making something that small. Oh, my Lord. Oh, Linda says I have fat quarter collections. Oh, they would be great. So, don't feel like you have to just do what I'm recommending or suggesting. I mean, this is your project, so you want to make it the way you want to make it. Everybody's goals and interest and all of that are just very different. So make the project that you want to make. Excuse me. All right, everybody. We've been on for an hour, and I just want to thank all of you for being here. Thank you so, so much. This is, like I said, the first live stream in almost 2 years. So thank you for hanging out. I'm going to wrap it up here. If you have any questions, I don't see anything new. Don't be afraid to email me. I don't check email every day, but eventually I do get back into it, and I will respond if you drop a message. Also, don't be afraid to comment on videos. I want you to know that I really am very mindful about the comments, and I do try to check the comments every day on the channel. So don't ever be afraid to comment on anything. And I mean, just recently I went through and I had to delete some guy that was coming on to people, and I blocked him. So these people, I don't know what they're doing. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much. Thank you to all of you for coming and being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys being here. So don't be ever hesitant to comment or ask a question. If I don't know the answer, I will tell you, because I certainly don't know everything. There's no way. I know what I know, but I don't know everything. So if I can't answer the question, I can probably recommend where you can go find your answer, or I can go try to find it for you. But anyway, okay, that's it. I'm going to wrap it up for here. And I just want to say thank you so much. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and figure out how to set up to do like the live sew along, like, just like a block, right? Just is a way to check in. And then if you have a question about that block while I'm sewing, I'll check, the comments. I can see them on the side. And then you can just comment and ask the question and I'll check and answer the best that I can. So I'm thinking like Sunday afternoons, or should we do Saturday afternoons? Tell me what you guys think about in terms of doing like a live sew along. You can leave that. So this video, I will go ahead and let it publish to the channel. You can come back and leave a comment about like Saturday or Sunday better for you in terms of doing like just like an hour check-in or something, and just make a block together. Let me know. So, okay, good. Okay. All right. Well, you guys check your schedules and see what looks good. And I will check back in with you. And I'm going to try to get back on that twice a week upload. Life gets so busy, doesn't it? Okay, that's it. I'm going to just leave it here. And I'm going to say to all of you, happy quilting and happy sewing. And I will see you soon. Bye for now.